G'day guys, Harvey back from jumpstronger.com, and today we're going to do a quick review of Slantboard Guys slant boards. I have used pretty much every single product in their catalog except for the Nordic strap, and I have to say overall there's really no better slant board on the market, and I'm going to explain exactly why the slant board from Slantboard Guy is superior to pretty much everything else that I've tried, and I've tried quite a few of the other decent slant boards. So the first thing you'll notice is the size of these slant boards. They are pretty big, okay? This is the second biggest slant board in terms of dimensions, and size actually is pretty important when it comes to slant boards, especially if you're doing squats or other sort of externally loaded movements. You really need to have adequate size, and the reason for that is, for me, when I'm standing on this, I have size 12 feet, and I can get my whole foot on the slant board quite comfortably. And if I'm using smaller slant boards, my toes are going to be coming off the front of the slant board, and that can be a bit of a problem, particularly if the slant board has a lip on the front. But with the Slantboard Guy slant boards, I have no problems doing squats, goblet squats, ATG squats, any sort of lift on this thing, and I can keep my whole foot on it, which is, it just feels a lot easier, a lot nicer to do like quality reps when you can get your whole foot on there really comfortably. And you know, if your toes are off, if the ball of your feet is off the front of the slant board, I think it actually does quite negatively impact stability throughout the squatting movement. The other really cool thing about this slant board is the full coverage grip surface. Okay, so this is like a skateboard grip tape type surface, and it is absolutely incredible. I mean, I've used other slant boards, a $100 slant board that just had no grip on it whatsoever. And it was basically unusable because, you know, I like to use these things bare feet. So a lot of stretching just around the apartment at home and stuff, and doing squats in bare feet. With the SBG slant boards, it's really easy to do that. Because the grip is so strong. Other slant boards, they just don't have as good a grip, and you can actually, you're probably not going to slip, but certainly if you're using them barefoot, it is really not fun to use for a lot of them, especially if you get sweaty feet going. Other slant boards basically become useless. So if you're doing a lot of static stretching, like, you know, calf stretching and that sort of thing, you want to be able to use it barefoot, and I think the grip tape on this is really, it's definitely the best in the market. You do have to be a little careful though. These things, the edges are very sharp. Okay, there's no lip on the front, which means it's a very sort of sharp edge. All the edges are sharp, and the grip surface is very coarse. Okay, so it can kind of cut your feet open if you're not careful. I have bumped into this thing in the middle of the night and started bleeding from it. So you just have to be a little careful, but it's definitely you know, something to keep an eye on. Not really a negative, but yeah, just have to be aware of that. So as I was saying, this is the second biggest slant board on the market, aside from the slant board from Freak Athlete Essentials, which makes it perfect for all sorts of different movements, whether you're just stretching, whether you're doing squats, or anything in between. This is really underrated. So many smaller slant boards just completely rule out anyone with like size 12 plus feet. Some of the other ones feel very narrow to do squats on. Okay, this one's nice and wide, so you can do any sort of width stance you like when you're doing squats. I'll put up a picture of me doing squats on another slant board that was extremely narrow and kind of cramped, and just didn't feel great to do these movements on. Let's talk about the incline angle here. It's a 30-degree incline, non-adjustable. I'm okay with this. Personally, I think between sort of 20 and 25 is kind of a little bit better if you're doing ATG, knees over toes stuff. The 30-degree angle is quite steep, but again, like, it's fine, and a lot of athletes actually do prefer the steeper incline angle. I think the 30-degree angle is definitely best if you're doing a lot of static stretching. Okay, if you're working on your ankle mobility, stretching those calves out every day, you really want to have a 30-degree incline. So SBG is perfect for that. You do have to be a little bit. I mean, if you're doing squats, it is kind of an aggressive angle, but you can definitely still do squats, and they do still feel fine. I just think it's a little bit over the top for that purpose. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of down to personal preference more than anything. As I mentioned earlier, the front lip is non-existent on this slant board, which is really, really nice. Again, if you've got big feet, if your feet are coming off the front of the slant board during any sort of squats, having an edge that kind of dips straight down is really, really uncomfortable. It's gonna like definitely impact your stability when doing squatting type movements. So SPG is just a completely flat ramp all the way down, and that means you can actually hang your toes off the front if you like, and it's really not going to impact stability too much compared to some other designs that do have that front lip, which really is very annoying, I've found. The other cool thing about these slant boards is they have custom designs. So if you like, you can get your logo printed on them. SBG were nice enough to print the Jump Stronger, or text at least. This is before I even had a logo onto my slant board. So you can get any sort of gym name printed on there, or whatever you like. You just have to upload an image and they'll print it on there for you. I think it's an extra $30 or so. So not bad. And they do have a bunch of other products that you should be aware of. So firstly, the SBG Duo. These are like very, very portable slant blocks. Essentially the same thing as a slant board, except they're two pieces and they are stackable. So they're extremely light. You can just throw them in your gym bag, take them to the gym. It's much easier than lugging around a fairly hefty wooden slant board. Again, they have the 30-degree incline angle, and they're really good for all the same movements, squats. You can even do HEG split squats using these, which is something you can't really do very easily using a slant board. So yeah, they're definitely cool if you're traveling a lot to train. Very, very cool product. I use them around the house every now and again. I actually enjoy doing calf stretching on the SPG Duo more than on the regular slant board personally. They also have a step up board. Okay, so it's just like a step up box, I guess you would say. It's just like nothing too like elaborate. It's just a big piece of wood, and it's pretty useful if you're doing a lot of movements like step downs, like Poliquin step ups or Peterson step ups. It's the perfect height to give you that elevation you need to do these sort of exercises, as well as stuff like calf raises. Personally, I stack my slant board on top of them and use this to do Poliquin step ups, which works really, really well. But if you've got no way to do calf raises, this is absolutely ideal for that. If you're doing step downs, like reverse step ups, this is like absolutely perfect for that sort of stuff as well. And finally, SPG have a new product called the Axis board. Essentially what it is it's kind of like a slant board with like two angled sides like this. And the idea is it's to sort of be used for kind of like plyometrics, like a lot of lateral movements, sort of simulating quick changes of direction, a lot of unilateral jumping. I personally use it to stretch out my ankles, okay, doing sort of ankle eversion and inversion. You can kind of do it single leg and get a really, really nice stretch through the side of your ankle, which when you have really, really bad ankle mobility like I do, this thing is actually the easiest way to get the lateral ankle mobility improving. You can do ankle walks and stuff, but it's kind of awkward. Whereas you can just leave this around the house and just if you're cooking in the kitchen, I like to just stand on the Axis board while I'm waiting for something to cook, and I get a really good stretch. I can do this all throughout the day, and it's definitely helped me a ton. With the ankle eversion, inversion stuff. But that's not its desired sort of use, more sort of jumping. And I've seen people on Instagram using this for like all sorts of like, you get lunges, like lateral lunges, and people even just squatting on it. Like there's all sorts of uses for the Axis board. So overall, the only real negative about SPG's products are that they're pretty expensive, and I'm saying pretty, I mean they're really, really expensive compared to sort of the other products on the market. You're looking at about For the slant board, you're looking at $140 for the slant board, and then other slant boards are going to cost about, you're kind of looking at the other most expensive ones are like $100, and then they kind of go all the way down to like 70, 60. You can even get some decent ones for $50. So you're definitely paying a premium for these slant boards, but this is a piece of equipment you can use every single day, particularly if you're doing a lot of stretching or squats and you really need that heel elevation. I think it is, in terms of like ATG, knees over toes equipment, the slant board is definitely right up there in my top 3 or 4 things that you absolutely need to have as an athlete. So I think investing in a decent one that's going to last forever is a pretty good idea. So yeah, it's definitely expensive, but if you're thinking about getting one, you will not be disappointed. Not at all. These are really, really amazing, and I've used 2 or 3 other different slant boards, and just all sorts of different things I didn't like about them, namely the grip and the sizing. It's just not anywhere near comparable to SBG's products. We do have a 10% discount code for Slantboard Guy as well, so if you do want to grab any slant boards from SBG, make sure you use the discount code Jump Stronger, or click the affiliate link in the description, and you'll save yourself a few bucks using that link, and you'll also be supporting the channel. So I really appreciate anyone who uses that affiliate link. That's all for today. Just a quick review. If you got any comments or questions about the SBG products, leave them in the comments, and I'll get around to answering any questions you guys have as soon as I can. That's all. Thanks for watching. Cheers.